curious as a recruiter. I think that women have an easier time getting hired for jobs.
Right.
What do you, am I wrong? Am I right?
Right, so I work in technology recruitment, right? So which is where, we're screaming to have more females and to bring that balanced at least 50-50 or 60-40 male-female, right? So I had this job, advertised it, got like 30 applicants. Like I generally put out of those forward 10. I wasn't forced, but because of us trying to hit numbers, I had to put all the women through and all the men didn't even get a look.
No, and I appreciate you being honest about that.
No, I've actually been wanting to come out and say this because I see feminists saying, "Oh, pay gap," but there's no better time to be looking for a job if you're a woman, if you're like ethnic minority. Like this is the best time.
So I have a
It's
question.
your time.
I have a question. So when women typically go into these roles, do they last?
Well, no, that's out of my. To be fair, right? Yes, they have longevity in their career. Do they last in that job? No, because there's a headhunter that needs to hit their female quota to go and fill a role with a female. So what will end up happening is how we're like men get paid more.
Right.
Well, if there's a shortage of skills and the commodity of females, what happens in a market? The value goes up. So that is what I'm seeing as potentially the next steps is where women will start getting paid more because they're women, because we need them more to make the workforce diverse.
That's what I see too. Is I don't see women being as competent at this as the guys, but I see them making more money.
I like that. Again, I only look after a small subset, but I don't feel like feminists need to be fighting as hard anymore for this equal pay.
Right.
And it's all good to be pro-woman and all this stuff, but feminism and all that sort of stuff. I think we're in a good place. Honestly, as I said, there's no better time to be a female in trying to get any job you want right now.
Do you think because sometimes I just wonder in a lot of the careers that women are pushed into, it's like, why do they keep pushing us to do these jobs if we don't want to do them?
Who's they pushing?
Recruiters, corporations, you know what I'm saying? You said they're giving special privilege to women, and it seems like it's because they're not getting enough women applicants, right?
So what it is, it's more that companies want to appear inclusive and diverse.
Right.
Okay? And so by doing that, you would do all these things quantitatively. So therefore, for them to prove that they're a diverse company, they need to show in their figures 50% female, 50% male. So it's not necessarily they're being pushed, it's more encouraged.
Right.
It's like, you're a female, don't think that you can't do this stuff.
Right.
Yeah? And so a bit more of a positive spin on it.
I think.
No, she doesn't. Look, that's why it says women shouldn't. Sorry. But if you think women shouldn't, that's a lot of our rights being taken away, is it not?
No, because women have always had power in society, even before they had the right to vote. I think if we want the right to vote, we should do equal work. So pay the majority of the taxes, do equally the hard jobs, and women want all the freedom, but none of the responsibility that comes with it. We live life on easy mode, so we just want to keep living.
I don't think that's true. I think women struggle just as much as men do.
You think a woman, so one of the
I think the struggles are different, but we struggle just the same.
So you think a secretary is struggling just as much as a coal miner? You think those are equal struggles?
But a secretary could be a man and a coal miner could also be a woman. They're both.
Women are the majority of secretaries, men are the majority of coal miners. And I could do 10 different examples that are really similar.
Okay.
Plumber, electrician, construction worker, garbage men, all men. Women's top, it's teaching, it's assistants, HR, admin. Those are the female-dominated fields. So if women really could do the hard jobs, I just would like to see them do them.
Women can do the hard jobs. They can do them.
Then I'll interview you next, but
women can do the hard jobs. It's just a matter of having choices where they just don't want to.
Okay, do we have more choice now or less choice than 100 years ago?
More choice.
Okay,
Because we got the right to vote.
Okay. So then why don't we see women rushing into these fields since we've been able to do them for 100 years?
Because we have the choice, the freedom to choose what we want to
What
do.
do we choose?
We choose whatever we want to choose.
The easy route.
It's not necessarily the easy route. It's just like,
Are we really going to argue a coal miner and an assistant are equally easy?
no, they're not. I think they're obviously being a coal miner is harder. But like we have the choice because we are women and because we got the right to vote. But taking that away doesn't mean if you take away the right to vote, that doesn't necessarily mean we're going to go into those hard working jobs.
I don't think we will, which is why I don't think we should vote. I think so. 45% of men have infrastructure jobs. That means they drive the trucks, they build the buildings, they pave the roads, they security here. They do all of the infrastructure hard jobs, right? Only 5% of women, 6% of women do the hard jobs and the infrastructure jobs. And let's be honest, female police officers are like 2%, and a female police officer isn't really going to help you.
But I think that's I personally I think that's a lot to do with a lot of men like hiring all these doing the hiring process, not thinking women are bodily able to do all of this stuff. And you say about these quotas and these grants, it doesn't stop biases. There's still going to be biases. There's still, at the end of the day, there's still men. It's still most likely men hiring all the workers. So they're more likely to hire who they think will be bodily able, and they don't think women will be bodily able. But women are able.
Well, I think if we were able, then we'd do it. And I disagree with you. I disagree with you if. No, we don't. It's like 98%, 99% men on the coal miners, plumbers, electricians, all those jobs. 90+% men. So we're not doing the hard jobs. And I disagree with you that I disagree with you on the men that the men are hiring, and that's why, because then we wouldn't have quotas. The men gave us quotas, and yet we still won't do the hard job.
The men gave the quotas so they would look unbiased. But at the end of the day, there's still bias. There's biases like psychologically drilled into our brains from birth.
Do you think you want to be a victim?
A victim?
Yeah, I think women want to be victims.
Victims of what?
This oppression.
It's not oppression. It exists.
I disagree, because I've been able to do everything I wanted easy. I think most women are just lazy, and we see that because most women are fat now.
What?
Yep.
What has that got to do with anything?
Well, it's a lack of discipline, that's for sure.
Huh?
A lack of discipline.
Lack of discipline.
Yeah, I would say thinner people are more disciplined and shape people more disciplined. Women that are fatter are less disciplined.
That is not what we're talking about. I completely disagree with it. I see where you're coming from on some points, but I completely disagree with that point.
That's all right. We can agree to disagree.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for anything women are better at, and anything, sir, for the millionth time, for the no, this is me and okay, but yeah, I just want anything women are better at.
Problem solving, multitasking.
Then why don't they solve? Then why don't we solve the world's problems? The men are solving the world's problems.
In it, because men don't let us.
Again, what's stopping us?
Men! I'm telling you, men.
I don't.
Men have been given that authority since day one.
Well, why? Again, we're going back to the quotas. There's quotas for us. We just don't take them.
Quotas for what?
Quotas. She said quotas, you duffy. Because I think men have control over most things, and men is like the men thinking that we're not able, and mindsets like yours who think we're not able.
Who do you think the companies cater to? Men or women?
What companies?
Corporations. Who do they cater to?
I don't know.
Women. 80% of consumer buying decisions are made by women. Women are the majority of voters. The entire system is catered towards women.
That's because 100 years ago it wasn't.
No. Actually, women always had more power in society than men, typically.
I feel like we're going around in circles.
All right.
Nothing more to add.
All right. Well, thank you very much. You want to know about this?
Yeah. What?
I don't believe in freedom without responsibility. So I think if we're going to be free, we should have the responsibility that comes with it.
Okay.
So I think we have to think about, and you have to go bare bones here, right? And modern society doesn't allow us to think like this. But we have to look at what makes the country run. All of the hard jobs, so building the buildings, driving the buses, driving the trucks. You'd agree that all that stuff makes the country run. And then we'd also agree that money makes the country run, right? Well, women, right. And so my thing is if women are losing money on taxes, meaning we spend more than we make, and on top of that we're not doing any of the hard jobs, we're not building the road.
Doing the hard jobs though? Why aren't we doing the hard jobs?
You know,
and there are women that are doing the hard jobs.
Okay, so what the media does, and they really brainwash us to believe that women do the hard jobs, but if you look at the makeup, we really don't. In terms of infrastructure jobs, 1 out of every 2 men that you see does a job that runs society. On the other hand, it's like 6% of women.
At Carnival, I wouldn't. Yeah, I just realised. Yeah, she's anti-feminist. But most of the guys here, they're not running the world. Like most of the guys here, like, come on, they're not running.
I mean, I'll give you an example. These 2 guys right there, they're protecting me now. That's a hard job.
What, from us?
Yeah, I've been attacked.
Because my opinion is, I was with the guy for 10 years, right? And I did everything for him, and then it ended like that because,
and I'll tell you, I just think feminism lies to us because it'll tell you to be bitter.
The world isn't equal. The world isn't equal.
Right.
The men do run the world.
Right.
I get that. Especially white men run the world. That is true. There's always white men at the top, but you just got to deal with what it is and just do what you've got to do, innit?
Yeah, I think women run the world, and I think the whole world. Well, men do the. Well, I'll tell you my. I think men do all the hard jobs, but women have the most influence right now.
I don't know if I agree with that. I think men still have the influence, I think women do the hard jobs. They do the hard jobs that no one sees.
Oh gosh, like what? Like what?
Just behind every good man is behind every strong man is an even stronger woman.
No, I don't agree with that.
So is there a strong man in power that hasn't had a good woman behind him?
No, I mean usually good women. I mean, how many of them get divorced and their wife takes half?
I mean,
if she was so strong, she wouldn't need his money.
It's not about money. I don't know. It's about encouraging someone to do well and strive and do better.
I'll give you
That's what women should do. Pick up your man.
They should. I agree with you. They should, but we don't.
Pick up you as well to strive you to do whatever you want to do.
I think if we did that, I would agree with you, but we really don't.
I just realised you're American. It's different over here in the UK.
No, I've interviewed.
The men are different.
No, I've interviewed hundreds of men and women in the UK. It's very much the same. You guys think you're different.
I don't know.
What?
I don't know. American dudes are trash.
They're exactly like UK dudes.
I don't know.
It's not that. The UK men dress slightly better. Question: how old are you guys? How old are you?
21. How does your shirt say women should have voted?
I just think we got better stuff to do. Why are we voting?
Women should babies. Depends. What? Depends on what you mean by that.
I don't think we should be able to vote. I think they should take it away. I'll give you an example. So, see, it's like an hour conversation, but I'll explain it to you. In the 1900s, women we operate with our emotions first, right? There's a reason why every fashion trend, like women jump onto, like they convince us to get holes in our shirts, puffy sleeves. It doesn't matter. And what they realized in the 1900s was they could influence the population by showing women a sad story, and we run to the polls.
Yeah.
I just think
led too much by emotion.
And I think men pay the majority of the taxes. They do all the hard jobs.
I agree with that, because currently men, you can agree, men have the most power right now. Do you agree?
No, I think women have more power than men.
The world right now are made for women. In this generation now, you would agree.
So I used to, in this generation.
Yeah.
So I'll give you, okay. So
men have the most power.
So I'm going to tell you why I disagree with that. I used to think like you, so I understand why you think that way. But right now, women, we pay the minority of the taxes. So men are paying for everything. Yes. And then on top of that, we're not doing any of the hard jobs. So men pave the road. And then, well, we're not housewives, but we don't have the, so, and then on top of that, men are discriminated against in family court. So they have no access to their kids right now, and I think and they also, it's really easy to falsely accuse men of of
Come on.
so because where guys so if you go into a college campus, there's courses that say if two people are drunk and have sex, the woman couldn't consent but the man could. Yeah. And so I think a lot of the laws are unfair.
Thank you.
And I think the reason they're unfair is because we can vote.
Yes. I agree.
Yeah.
I fucking
So
agree.
would you say that majority of the people, world leaders right now, are men or women?
So I'll tell you, I'll break that down. The thing about the world leaders being, they are men, but they cater to women because when I've talked to the politicians about this, they cannot win elections without the female vote because we're the majority of the population. So all of the politicians are making laws for women and not men. And that's why I think women have more power because they can't win elections without the women voting.
Yes.
That's true.
I agree.
I feel like
I
it's
agree.
in certain
No, I agree.
I feel like it's certain circumstances. Like there's many circumstances where a woman could walk into a room and a man is still going to be more valued. I'm not saying that women are not powerful, but it depends on the situation. I wouldn't say it overall.
I disagree, and I think women are given a privilege because they're beautiful.
Yeah.
I think
100%.
But what if you don't fit that? What if you don't fit that social standard of a woman? There's many women that society wouldn't view as
Most, and the thing is, you guys are young, so you don't really realize it yet. But like the world treats you better just as a young woman because you're young and pretty. You don't even have to.
You find a good man with money, you're gonna sit at the table.
You don't even have to be that pretty. You just have to be young and like in shape.
and have fun.
Yeah.
Know that you
and
have
the men
fun.
and the men will pay for everything.
Exactly.
So that's why I don't think we should. And it's funny because when women get into power, we're actually evil with it. We're more likely to wage war. We're more likely to have.
Because we're filled with revenge.
History has shown you that men have literally went to war more
So
than
they
women.
teach you the history wrong. Actually, it's incorrect because it's incorrect. So when women have gotten into power, when women have gotten into power in the last, so what they did was they took women leaders the last 500 years, right? And they wanted to see who waged war more, men or women. When women get into power, we're much more likely to wage war, and I think it's because we don't have a cost because we don't have to fight.
Exactly.
So it's like, and we get our periods. We're like, oh my God, I got my period. Let's go to war.